Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the Cruiser 6 AC from our Air Comfort collection. This is a tunnel designed family tent which can sleep up to 6 people. It has 3 bedrooms across the back and a large sealed living space with this front canopy section here, which we will show you in detail shortly. With the tent being from our Air Comfort collection, what you'll find is that in place of traditional steel or fiberglass poles, we actually have an inflatable frame on this tent here. Each of the tubes that we have has its own inlet valve and its own outlet valve, so pitching and taking down this tent is certainly really quick and easy. So what we'll do is we'll just pop round to the other side of the tent to show you these valves in detail. So here you can see the valves that I was just mentioning here. We have the air in valve quite clearly marked here. So this is a one-way valve which just looks like this, and if you just take the cap off, you see what I mean by it being one way. There's no air coming out of this. Of course, this is where we attach the pump. Really simply, it just pops in there and that would be it ready to be inflated. Underneath the in valve is where you'll find the out valves, just like this here, and under there is where we have the release valve. So to take the tent down, really simply, each individual tube has one of these. We just open it up to the open position and the air will come out ready for you then just to fold it up and pop it back in the bag. We do supply a pump with the tent, which is just like this one here, which is a 2-way double action pump. So what that means is each time you pull the lever up and push the lever down, it will inflate the tent. It has a pressure gauge on the top here as well, so you can keep an eye on the pressure that you are inflating the tent to. And we would recommend inflating this up to 7 psi, which represents 0.5 bar. So this tent features our Outex 5000 material, which is a high quality premium taffeta polyester. It has a hydrostatic head of 5000 millimeters, so you can be safe to know that you will stay nice and dry within the tent even on very rainy days. It's fully PU coated on the inside and all of the seams have been fully taped as well, just to ensure that waterproofing aspect. The tent has also been completely UV treated as well, and that's of course going to give even better protection under sunlight and make sure that the tent lasts for a good long time. We also then have our aero-effective ventilation on this tent here, so you can see a real streamlined and sleek ventilation system here. Underneath in here we'll see a mesh panel which is going to allow cool fresh air into the tent and of course reduce condensation within there. If it gets a little bit too chilly, we can simply remove the Velcro tabs like this and just pop that down there just to keep the tent a little bit warmer. At the front and side and back and all around the tent, we're using our classic luminous guy lines on here, so these should be a little bit easier to spot when it's a bit darker. And we're using our well-known and well-appreciated guy line retainers as well. So when it comes to packing the tent down, we can simply wrap up the guy lines and pop them in here so that the next time you come to set the tent up, you don't have a tangled mess of guy lines that you have to waste time untangling. At the front of the tent we do have this canopy area, and that is provided using one of our Duratec fiberglass poles, so a good quality strong pole on here which gives you this whole front sheltered area. So you can see here at the moment we have a chair placed in here because this is actually a great area where if you're lucky enough for it to be a hot sunny day, you're going to be able to get a bit of shade, or of course if it's a little bit drizzly, this will give you good shelter in this area as well. It's also a good area for kitchen units and things like that as well. The front of the tent has some large windows, as do the sides as well. These are going to allow enough light into the tent to keep it feeling nice and spacious, but they are tinted windows, so they serve 2 key functions, one of which is to reduce the amount of glare from the sun inside the tent, keeping you a bit more comfortable, and the second is of course to give you better privacy within the tent as well. The front door is a D-door style, so this is where we roll it to the side instead of going up the way. It makes it a little bit easier to handle, and you can see that it is a good size front door, so getting all of your kit in and out of the tent should certainly be nice and easy. The door itself does have a full window on here as well, just like the other ones. It's tinted as well. So stepping inside the tent, one thing I want to highlight is the overall shape here. We actually have a Gothic arch, so this is where the tent is peaked in the middle. And what you can see here is that certainly gives you plenty of head height within here. I'm quite tall at around 1.95 m, and you can see that I still have plenty of space in here. And what it also does is adds to the stability of the tent as well. Speaking of stability, I'll point out now that we use our power air tube system in this tent. So that's where we have this bracer tube at the front here, which just velcros into place. So you blow this one up separately and pop that in here. And there is also one towards the rear of the tent as well. And what these do is really maximise the stability of the tent to make sure that it's going to stand up to pretty harsh weather conditions. So the living area in here, as I said earlier on, it's a really good size space. You can see actually we have quite a lot in here at the moment with tables and chairs and furnitures, and there's still plenty of space around us as well. The ground sheet that we have in this particular tent is sealed completely from front to back and side to side. So it's going to keep you nice and cosy and well protected in here. It is a bathtub style ground sheet as well, so you should be able to see just around the edges. It comes up around the edges there to stop things like drafts, things like dirt, dust and sand, and more importantly, hopefully keep out those unwanted bugs as well on the inside here. So up here in the middle of the tent, you can see we're actually utilising our lantern hanging point in the middle here with one of our Corvus strip lights at the moment. So you can easily hang a lantern or a light like this here and then attach it to what we have all the way down the sides, which is some cable tidies which run all the way down here to a cable entry point, which is just at the bottom. So you can zip this open to allow you to run electrics into the tent without actually having the door opened. There is one on the other side as well, of course. So as I mentioned earlier as well, all of these doors within this tent do have full zippable mesh doors as well. So in terms of ventilation, you're not going to get much more than this. There is one at the front here and one on either side, plus the strips that I've already mentioned down the side and across the back here. So plenty of ventilation opportunity within this tent. Each of the windows within the tent as well has its own curtain. So as I mentioned before, there's certainly nice big windows in here to make the field tent spacious, but if you do need a little bit more privacy, then the curtain which we have rolled away at the moment can either come halfway up or it can be fully closed at the top. Towards the back of the tent is where the bedrooms are located, and again, as I said, this tent sleeps up to 6 people across 3 bedrooms. Now, we actually put these bedrooms in already for you, so that's a job that you don't need to worry about. The first time you pitch the tent, they're already in place. What we have actually done here at the back is we have changed the configuration a little bit at the moment, which just goes to show that, of course, whatever suits your necessity can be done at the back here, where you have dividing walls between these bedrooms to separate them into 3 separate rooms, or you can have it as one large bedroom or one bigger bedroom with a small bedroom. The choice is up to you, of course. Within the bedrooms themselves, we have plenty of features in here. There's lots of storage pockets all the way around the edges, so great for smaller personal possessions, things like phones and chargers and things like this. At the back, you'll see we've got a large ventilation panel which corresponds to outside ventilation. And also in here we have a handy hanging rope as well. You'll also just then see that we're using our night sky ceiling, so if you're camping on those long summer days, you will of course be able to have a nice long light. It'll keep it a little bit darker within the bedrooms, but also when the sun doesn't set till quite late on, you'll still have a little bit more comfort within the bedrooms with that darker ceiling as well. So quite an important point I want to highlight here is that we are using our master bedroom within this tent as well. So the industry standard size for bedrooms is generally 215 centimetres, where this is actually 250 centimetres deep. So you can see that gives you much better space within the bedrooms. We actually have quite a large bed in here. Of course, we have opened up this dividing wall, but that just shows you that you can create a really nice sort of bedroom area where you can have small tables next to your bed and things like that as well. Some other features on the outside then, we have some handy storage pockets again. All the bedroom doors also have ventilation panels on here as well. And this bedroom configuration also uses our universal inner, which is what this zip running down the middle is. And we'll just show you now how that works. We have a number of optional extras available for the Cruiser 6, which would be the fleece carpet for the living area here, giving you a little bit more comfort. We also then have a footprint available that would go underneath the whole tent to protect your ground sheet and keep it nice and clean and dry on those wet and muddy days. We also then have a front awning available for this tent for those who might need a little bit more sort of enclosed living or storage space, and we also have a side extension available for the tent as well. So there you have it then, that's all the features and optional extras for the Cruiser 6 AC from our Air Comfort collection. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, this tent can be inflated using our Typhoon 12 volt compressor pump.